And I'm Michael.
And this is Flahertys on Films. This week we continue our countdown of the AFI Top 100 with The Last Picture Show from 1971. This is the IMDb synopsis.
Can I read it?
Please.
In 1951, a group of high schoolers come of age in a bleak, isolated, atrophied?
Atrophied.
Atrophied? What does that mean?
Like, so like when your muscles atrophy, they break down and diminish.
Oh, yeah.
Unused and dwindled.
Appropriate adjective. Atrophied West Texas town that is slowly dying both culturally and economically.
So I feel like when I was watching this film, I felt bleak, isolated, and atrophied.
Right. What a great summary, because that doesn't describe any characters or any events that happen.
Yeah, I really like that. Like, I feel like it's really appropriate.
What a great review. Or what a great summary.
So great. I can't wait to get to the Amazon. Anyway, so has anyone here seen this film?
No, never heard of it. Do we?
Oh, sorry. And, so rude, because we have a special guest here today who flew all the way from Washington, D.C.
Who is it?
Just for this podcast.
Ooh.
It is our brother John's wife, our very own sister-in-law, Michelle Block.
So honored to be here. Thank you.
Welcome to the PCast.
I'm excited to discuss this movie specifically because I have very terrible memories of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, so Michelle and I have watched this film.
We
so
have.
we had not heard of it before.
Nope.
And then we came across the AFI and we're like, oh, we should start watching better movies. And so we watched this and we're like, and then we wanted to stab ourselves in the brain. And we're like, how did we just waste 4 hours watching this movie? And it's actually under 2 hours.
Also, I would like to point out that we were duly warned by your mother.
Oh, yes. Our mother has seen this in theaters and hated it. So
Yeah.
And asked us why we were watching it. And foolhardy beings that we are, we did. And we regretted it.
She also doesn't like The Matrix, so I don't totally
Right.
respect
Wait,
her.
she doesn't?
She's not, yeah.
So she's not like a perfect human when it comes to movies.
But she liked John Wick.
Did she?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah,
What?
she was really excited about it.
What? Mom.
Oh, she's
right.
surprising. All right.
Huh.
So Mikey, did you know anything going into this?
Nope, I couldn't tell even by the title what this movie was supposed to be. I didn't know anything.
So I've seen this film like 1.5 times now, and I still don't know what it's about.
Yeah, I guess that's
So that's, oh boy. Let's get into some Amazon reviews,
Yes,
shall
yes. we? Amazon views. Let's do it.
we? Yes. No good. Boring and gross.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's really apt review.
That's really good.
I mean, that's pretty good.
On the recommendation of my 68-year-old neighbor, who is coincidentally the only fan of this movie still alive.
Yep.
I rented and watched this resounding work of poo.
Bird.
I could have spent a few hours working around the pad or dusting or cleaning. Instead, I chose to make good on a promise to my friend and watch his favorite movie. I want my money
He's
back.
a good friend, though. That was nice.
That was really nice. Do you want to read the other two?
Yeah. Very trashy movie that tries to pass as art. The whole movie was one big crude and lewd illicit sex scene. Just degrading trash. Totally.
Totally.
Yeah, I'm with more.
Like,
It would have made the movie better
yes. And then
if that was actually.
and then one more review.
This is this is a movie about morons. If you like morons or are one yourself, you like this movie.
That's a great review.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's so good.
Oh gosh. Oh, it's getting a little late. Mikey, what time is it?
Boy, I think it is. Bam!
Time for Sam.
So, fun fact about this film, we have 2 Academy Award winning performances in it.
Bye, let me guess. Jeff Bridges. No, Sam the Lion.
Sam the Lion,
Yeah.
played by Ben Johnson, has the shortest performance ever in a film to win an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. He was only in the film for 9 minutes and 54 seconds.
That lucky bastard.
The other winner, any guesses?
Sybil Shepherd.
Jeff Bridges.
Cloris Leachman?
Who's that? Do we know?
What did she play?
I haven't seen the film. Hold on.
Research.
We'll go to the other facts. I do know of a Cloris Leachman. That sounds familiar.
Cloris Leachman is a very famous
I bet
person.
she's the mom, actually.
Yeah, I bet she's
Probably
the
the
mom.
mom.
Yeah.
She was great. So
was
Mom was good.
I'll give her that.
Cloris Leachman, her last scene in the film was done in one take without any rehearsals. Afterwards, she said, "I can do it better." And the director said, "No, you can't. You just won an Oscar." And she did.
Ooh.
That's fun. Okay.
It's a little pompous.
Yeah.
Sybil Shepherd, this was her debut in a feature film. She was actually picked. The director saw her on a Glamour cover and decided to cast her.
I'm actually, this is a weird thing about me, but I'm very familiar with Sybil Shepherd because I used to watch the TV show Sybil.
So you could bring a lot of context.
Oh, I got a lot of context.
Okay.
Where she's very funny and gets into funny antics.
And the last fun fact is that the skinny dipping scene did cause this film to be temporarily banned in Phoenix, Arizona. It had to go to the federal courts, who ruled it was not pornography.
Well, no, it was so gross. It could not possibly be
I
pornography.
would think, I think it might be pornography because it's not anything else. You know what I mean?
It's like, I know.
So it's just gratuitous in the way that pornography is.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, what did they say about pornography? I can't define it, but I know it when I see it. And I have no idea what this is. So.
Right. Must be pornography.
Must be pornography.
Elimination says.
So, the plot. Did you follow the plot? No.
No, there's no plot. Things happen. There's no real point to it.
I mean, none of the characters are likable. I don't care about them. I don't care.
Man, I don't know. There's just no meaning. There's one scene that made me laugh a lot is, do you remember the scene where they're out fishing by the pond and Sam the lion is sort of like giving his kind of speech? So he starts at the speech about just a girl he used to love, and the camera slowly zooms in because, you know, it's one of those speeches. It's important.
Right.
You know, this is a big moment of the film. But nothing really happens, so it zooms in, he gives the speech, zooms slowly back out, and then it kind of stays on him and Sonny's like asking him questions. And I was like yelling at the film, like, do not zoom back in. Like, 'cause I was just like, the scene has to be over.
I need it to be done.
Did it zoom back in?
No, it did not.
Well,
but
thank
it
goodness.
looked like it. And I was really on edge.
Like it was threatening to.
Yeah.
So, all right, so the whole overarching thing is like the death of the small town America. Like everything that we loved and knew and held sacred about what we thought small town America was is dying slowly. And it's like they're even closing the picture show. Get it? It's like the last picture show is like the death keel of this town. But it's like I didn't want to experience a slow, painful death as a viewer.
Yeah.
So
I
that's,
feel like I did.
yeah. So
You know,
that
my soul
was
died a little.
Yeah.
I just don't know what the point of it is. What's
mean,
the message? What's the meaning?
That's the like everything is terrible, like this film.
Well, okay, so there's that, I guess.
It also feels a little bit like it was too soon to do it, because the 50s were not the death of small towns. They really weren't. A whole bunch of people came out to the suburbs and like built communities.
So I think I have some information, actually.
Okay.
I
Thank
think the
goodness,
information
because I
is
don't
that
get it.
there's this part of Texas that like a bunch of oil rigs dried up or something. And like,
Well, that was going to happen. You have to prepare for that.
well, I'm just saying, so I think like some small towns like were economically based on one thing and then that stopped, so.
Well, that's dumb. It's their own fault.
Yeah, are we supposed to feel bad? I don't understand.
Right.
It's
I
called
don't,
economics.
I don't know.
Could we talk about that? None of the characters are likable.
Also, women are horrifying. Like, I
Uniformly.
don't even know what their motivations are,
Yeah.
but I think it's just getting other people to do things, like just being a manipulative shrew to no end.
So, like, right away, this movie is so boring, but, like, the moment I knew I didn't like this film was, like, Sonny, the main character, starts to have an affair with this 40-year-old woman. And I'm just thinking, like, how is the director using the language of cinema to frame this high schooler having an affair with this old woman? Just the normal way. Like, it just sort of happened. Like, it just, and she's nice, and there's no real consequence to it.
It's
Yeah.
not like a Graduate situation.
Right.
Like, it's just, oh, that's happening.
Oh, that's what's going on
I
now.
thought the sex scenes were so gross and long. Like,
They almost get
They were
credit
all
because
uncomfortable.
they're
Yeah.
clearly trying to be uncomfortable, but
I guess.
to no point.
right.
No point.
Is he growing from it? Is he learning from it? Are there consequences of it? No. They just happen.
No,
Yeah.
and
Like-
it's not even the classic consequences of like, you know, sluts are terrible.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
There are no slut consequences.
They're just, things are pretty much the same at the end of the movie that they were at the beginning of the movie, except Jeff Bridges goes off to war.
Maybe that's positive. There's no slut shaming.
Yeah.
It's something.
I also think young Jeff Bridges, I don't know. I can't think of him as anything but older Jeff Bridges.
Right.
And he's like so different. He's also just, I know you thought he was okay, but I just think that Jeff Bridges is a pretty good actor, and I didn't think he was that great in this.
Well, I don't think anybody could be good at this. There's nothing to do. I don't know.
There's
It's
no
hard
material?
it's hard to work with that material. Yeah, absolutely.
God. This movie.
I do remember we were watching this in your, essentially a studio apartment, and I was in the bathroom for a very long time during the pool table scene.
Oh.
I left.
Pool table scene? What's that scene?
Yeah, doesn't like the teenage girl have sex with a guy on a pool table?
Yeah.
I left.
Again,
And it's
why-
very hard to do that in a studio apartment.
Why did that happen? What was the point?
It was
Just-
so long.
Yeah. I mean, that doesn't even relate to the theme of the town dying, to me.
Right.
I don't get it. If there is some kind of connection you can make.
Right, it's actually
Right.
a pretty obvious theme that somehow they
Miss.
They still
Like,
they still miss
it's
it.
so easy to do this, and like, wow, God, and Sybil Shepherd was like just so. Ugh. But there was one scene you liked.
There was one scene I liked. So the first scene where the mom sort of stopped Sybil Shepherd from going out with her boyfriend Dwayne, and so the mom comes into her room and's like, she's like, "Oh, you must be mad at me," and Sybil Shepherd's like, "Oh, ma," and just I think the dialogue that they have is great. I don't really remember the lines really, but just I thought her advice was very apt. Just like, well, have you slept with him? If you have, maybe you would get it that it's not magical, and you should go off and marry someone rich. And
And I was like, great advice.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, probably should do that. Or there was that one scene, she was like, oh, you should, well, you married daddy when he was poor. Well, I scared him into being rich, and, you know, and she's like, and I don't think you could ever do that. And she's like, well, I don't want to be unhappy. Like, I'm not going to be like you. And she's like, no danger of that. It was a fun little tete-a-tete.
I like that.
It felt surprisingly modern.
Yeah, but it was very asymmetrical to the rest of the film, I
Okay.
thought.
Yeah.
Gosh, just. I mean, so I guess if they're trying to depict something that is bleak and sad and awful, then I guess good job. Like, all right, if this is small town Texas, then I don't want to go there, and that is good.
Kinda,
But it's very gratuitous then, because
Yes.
there was no point other than to make you feel terrible.
Yeah.
Yep.
I guess, but it's not like it would have been thematically appropriate if the main character like had this great life, and all of a sudden it was sort of like kind of drifting away. It was kind of evaporating, but like it's not really what happens. I just felt like it was like he wasn't getting enough action from his plain girlfriend, so they break up. I'm like, what's the point? So then he's after Sybil Shepherd, but then he's with Dwayne. Like, it's not really connecting at all. There's no. It's just.
Can I say, maybe if we had like a shared cultural experience, us three, of like really having a reverential view of small town America, where it's like, that's when men were men and women were women, and it's so great. And then this is sort of exposing our belief of that, but we don't think that.
Does anyone?
I feel like people think that. People say shit like that.
Oh yeah, those are the people I don't
Right?
talk to.
Right, like, oh, the 1950s was when everything was great, and, you know, and the ice cream truck would come around, and
Yeah,
you could
but
bike
they're-
anywhere. And, I don't know.
Research finds that bullshit.
Oh, okay. Well, I wonder if, like, it would rock our sensibilities if we thought that, but we don't think that.
No. I mean, you guys grew up in a small town. I grew up in a small town. Like,
Nah. Eh.
it's a town. Calm down.
I also just don't think it aged well.
Nope.
I mean, I can't imagine 30 years ago or 40 years ago.
Right.
50
A lot of years ago.
years ago. That this. What's the value of any time period? I can't imagine.
Right. I don't. Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh.
And if this was supposed to be a period piece, they did it really poorly. It looks like the 70s doing the 50s.
Yeah. It does.
Very clearly. I remember they often show the teenage girl putting in pin curls, but it was literally one on the side of her head. And it really annoyed me because that is not how they did it.
Right.
If you watch YouTube videos at all, that's not how they did it.
Very good point, Michelle.
I'm
Because I was
sorry,
really
I
into
got really
I
mad.
was really into the film until the pin girl incident.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's how little material there was. This was what, like 4-ish years ago that I've seen it, and I can tell you that this really annoyed me.
I just, oh, yeah, I mean, because all the women just looked 1970s glamorous, and all the men looked like they were wearing, like, bad James Dean costumes.
Yes. Cosplay.
Like, yes,
Yes.
exactly. Like, all right. I think it's time for a little, Barocco.
RuPaul!
I don't think he's gonna know this one either.
He was there when we watched it.
Was he?
Oh.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
So let me do this. Call John.
Hello again.
Have you seen the last picture show?
Stop.
you think about it? What's your take? What's your hot take?
On the Last Picture Show?
Yeah.
Well, I think it certainly demonstrates that the AFI's Top 100 has some serious flaws in it.
Yes. Correct.
Reminder, Matrix is not on the list.
Yeah.
And nor is Starship Troopers. But somehow
Yes.
the Last Picture Show, also known as that last shit show, is
Oh, John!
Burn.
Oh, I'm sorry, is this a flip show?
Yeah. Oh, Michelle is here as well.
Yeah, your wife.
Oh, hi babe.
Hey, you.
So Michelle comes and visits you guys, and you make her watch the last goddamn picture show?
She didn't
Are you
watch
a
it.
monster?
She didn't rewatch it. No.
No.
She's coming with prior knowledge of having seen it once.
Yep.
She brought some good
all right.
details.
Well, it's interesting. It has a nice parallel to today's, world about how small towns, rural America is supposed to be dying. Apparently, it was dying back into the 70s as well.
Maybe.
Okay, then
Sort of
they've been
permanent
dying
state of
way too
being for
slowly.
small towns.
Yeah, small towns are always dying. Blah,
Yeah.
blah. Sad, sad. I don't want to watch 80 hours of this.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, that's an interesting thought. That was 50 freaking years ago that movie came out.
So, John, I think, it was based on, how in Texas there were just these small towns scattered around that would be based around one oil rig economically, and then it would dry up. That's what I think it was.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that sort of parallel exists all over the damn place. Like
Right.
a town that exists on a single factory, or a town that exists on a single mine.
Right.
And honestly, the economy doesn't work in that sort of way. Yes, the infrastructure of a town has to be built up over years and years and years, but frankly, a company can't give a damn. They can move a factory overnight.
So you're
An
saying
oil well could dry
this
up
actually
overnight.
could be an interesting and relatable film that was just done so poorly?
Just really awfully.
Yeah, I mean, economically speaking, it's interesting. The movie itself, oh my god, shoot me.
So we're all on the same page then.
Yeah,
it sounds
there's
like.
not a lot of debate happening here.
No, there's really just complaining that movie exists.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the worst. Well, thanks for this bro call, John.
Yeah. Good roll call.
Okay.
All right, peace.
Bye.
Bye.
Now it's bro call.
That was roll call. Roll call.
He's a brother.
Time to call the bro.
All right, so would this go on your personal top AFI?
No, because it's a bad film.
Right.
And
It
I don't
actually
like it.
fucking sucks, and I hate it. So I don't even. So this is my Yankee Doodle Dandy problem again. Except now I love that film because I remember that this film exists.
Wasn't there blackface that didn't need to be in it in Yankee Doodle Dandy, though?
Better than this.
But that was even relevant to the film. There's
Okay.
a scene in this movie where one of the kids drives off with a little girl and almost molests her, but not really.
I remember that! I also left the room during that scene!
And why did that happen? No reason. Was he even a relevant character to the film?
He might be a child molester.
And his name was Joe Bob. I did like that.
It feels like someone read the Wikipedia entry for, noir films.
Yeah.
And then
did
made
it badly.
this. Right, read the Wikipedia page, has never seen a noir film, and then decided to make one.
So, but the thing with Yankee Doodle Dandy was I didn't get why it was culturally relevant. I didn't get why it was so great. This isn't one of the films that just isn't my personal taste, but I get
Right.
it. Like Blade Runner, I get it.
Right.
This,
right.
I don't.
I don't. Yeah, that's a good question. Why?
Why?
Why would anybody say this movie was
Yeah,
good?
at least Yankee Doodle Dandy's oh, that's a time and place good war propaganda. Now I'm coming around to that movie.
Was 1971 just a really slow movie year? Because this, got some Oscars.
Right?
It's critically acclaimed. What were those critics smoking?
I don't know. We should
Is everyone
ask,
high on mushrooms?
We need to ask that.
I think Sybil Shepherd was hot.
I think that was it. There weren't a lot of
Wait,
hot
really?
people in the 70s. There was a bit of a dearth, especially because you had to be a white blonde lady to be hot. So it was a very small population.
Disagree. You still had the, late 60s hippie thing going on with, the bands.
Yeah, they're
and-
not hotties, though. We're talking hotties, Michelle.
Some of them were hotties. Disagree. 70s hot is better than 80s hot.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Yeah, that's-
Having seen Blade Runner, I will agree with you on that
Yeah,
one.
accurate.
Yeah, I just don't get it. I don't enjoy it.
No, nobody likable.
We need to ask the Amazon reviewer's neighbor to come weigh in on this.
Yeah, seriously.
But dirty film.
Just lewd trash.
Lewd trash.
Crude and lewd.
If you're a moron, you'll love it.
Because it's a movie about morons.
If you like morons or are a moron.
or are a moron. Yeah.
So,
Love it.
That's a pretty big market.
Yeah.
It's not nobody.
Yeah.
It's very true. It's very true.
So no, it would not go on my personal AFI list.
Yeah, did we like the film?
No.
Resounding no.
Yeah, big F.
This might be my least favorite film so far.
Okay. Oh, that's absolutely mine.
It is absolutely mine. So let's grade it. Michael?
F.
F.
F minus.
I am gonna say F. I don't feel like I was trying to say, well, maybe it kind of accomplished. No.
No.
F.
There was some good sex advice about how it's not magical.
Yes.
Does not rescue it.
Yeah.
F minus.
Yeah, mine
Yeah.
is for sure.
There was no grand old flag in it, so it's
That's a great song.
yeah.
I wonder who wrote that. Can I see a story about that?
Yeah. If only we could watch a movie about that.
Yeah.
Better be historical though.
I like history, but don't want historical.
All right. I think that is it for Flahertys on Films.
We should go to our sponsors, though. Let's bring back the bit.
Oh, okay. This week's Flahertys on Films brought to you by Squarespace.
Squarespace, the best website creation tool on the web. You usually make websites. When we try to make websites, we usually just use Sharpies, put it
Right.
draw a website, and then try to hit the computer with the piece of paper.
It has not been super successful.
No, we've created 0 websites. With Squarespace, it's just one button. You press hit website, and it just makes it for you. It looks at all your personal files, so it just tries to kind of guess intelligently what kind of website you want.
It's like you don't have to do anything.
Does a pretty good job. I messed me once. It did kind of reveal a lot of personal information. Don't go to any of my websites. But otherwise, it's pretty good. You're gonna have to do it a couple times.
Right.
Don't publish too fast.
It's very intuitive.
Squarespace. Don't publish too quickly. That's their motto.
Flahertys on Films brought to you by Microsoft.
What a great company.
It's so great.
I use Windows a lot. It crashes, but
Right.
what doesn't crash?
Right.
It crashes because it moves so fast.
Sometimes I'm like, what else is Sybil Shepherd did? What if I use some Bing?
What if I use Bing?
Bing it. As the people say.
We're also sponsored by Pizza Hut. Great pizza.
Good times.
Bring it to parties, but it's only for me. So is that rude? Email podcast@flahertysonfilms.com, but I will not. It's not rude.
So don't email us,
Well,
because we've already concluded.
I'm just saying if you want to weigh in, but it's not.
It's not rude. Because, you brought the pizza. It's for you.
It's mine. Yeah. It smells delicious. It's great. I'd highly recommend it.
I'll share the smell with you.
Yeah. Great party.
And that's it for Flahertys on Films. Join us next week when we discuss Pulp Fiction,
Yay.
I think.
We did it.
Okay, so this film was up against Clockwork Orange, The French Connection, Fiddler on the Roof.
What?
That was the
I'm sorry,
Academy Awards.
what?